forgive him
Right.
for cheating with my sister, for cheating with men, for beating me, for leaving us for 2 years to go have an affair.
For financial neglect
so
in the
that
relationship.
seems to be glorified in the Christian community that this woman is keeping God in the center.
Hi guys, Murugi Munyi here.
It's Lydia KM.
And we're back again with another episode of
The Messy In Between.
It's definitely TMI.
Immediately, I'm just like, why do I feel down here?
And
then the camera is like,
on the roof.
why is this swinging as a chandelier? Huh?
Yeah, I also felt the same way. Then I was like, but look, we are so close to the ground.
Not even that. How long have we been sat here to measure that? But what we're doing?
Yapping.
Do you know what? Let me tell you guys, the team behind TMI, they are the ones, they are the glue
that's holding us together.
Holding this machine together, because if it's me and Morugai over here,
you would not be getting anything. Actually, it's time that the team now come in front of the camera. This is what I was saying. Nance and Bree need to do an episode here.
Right?
You know what I mean?
Like, what is it like working with those bitches?
Yeah, that's it. And it's not always us. Like, why must we always be breaking our backs for the podcast?
Do you know what, guys? Would you like that episode from Bree and Nancy? What is it like to work below for these bitches?
Exactly. We would love.
And I phrased it like that because apparently someone asked someone here.
Yeah. But anyway, between us, there's like good cop, bad cop. So sometimes it's just like it balances out. I would say.
You call yourself bad cop. Good cop.
Yes. Please. Yes. Except when it comes to financial matters. That's all. That's all you can do.
You're good cop. How?
Are you serious? I'm the one who's always suggesting fun things. And right now who has suggested about team dinner? Was it me? It was me.
Oh, in the team?
Yeah.
I need you to slide down to the ground because I have no idea.
It's true. And I think we're going to take a poll after this. Yeah.
No, let's take a poll. Guys, who's good cop? Lydia or Morugi?
And Nancy, look at me and you know how I feel.
Yes, I'm not participating.
Beryl, how do you feel?
No comment.
Right. Do you know what? Whatever.
Yeah,
it's fine.
We'll take this up later. Exactly.
It's no problem. Welcome to the episode, guys. That's usually what happens. There's usually a fight. There's usually like a dark dog fight, and then we start the episode. So we just wanted to let you inside of what we really get down to here on the Messy In Between podcast. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in to yet another episode. We really do appreciate it. Even as we say we are toiling, we know for sure that Wednesday at 12 p.m. most of you are going to be on there, switched on, ready. When we are 1 minute late, there's a problem.
Honestly.
So thank you so much for the dedication, and that's why we stay dedicated. And we know you're dedicated because you have followed us on Instagram, TMI Podcast, Lydia KM,
Murugi
Munyi, and you're also subscribed. Honestly, I realized the other day that I may be also somebody who doesn't always subscribe, and now I'm like, no, I don't want to do that.
Right.
Like anything that I've watched 1, 2, 3 times, I'm subscribed because it changes nothing for me.
I feel like the reason why it's the YouTube algorithm, I think, which is problematic because once I've already watched a video from TMI, whether or not I'm subscribed, when I now next log on to YouTube and you have a video, it'll just come. So it's like you can assume. So just check and see that you are actually subscribed. Please. It really helps out our podcast a lot. It helps us be able to keep the lights on.
Yeah.
Guys, it helps us have more sponsored content and more unsponsored content because the sponsored content pays for the unsponsored content.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah, but thank you guys so much for being here. It is the end of the year and Lyd and I are tired. I can tell you that, guys. We are tired. It has been a year.
Right?
Actually, this year has been a decade.
Is it more, do you feel like it's more personal stuff? Because, there's some years which is just like work has been, oh my God.
Yeah,
I don't feel that. I feel like it's the more personal stuff.
Exactly.
After she's birthday recently, which was a really hard day, at the end, I was just like, it's not enough that grieving she is all I did this year.
I know.
It's not enough. Then I was just like, I decided to start school. I finished school now. Woo! Yeah. I decided that I would like to run the 10K marathon. Like, these aren't enough.
Yeah, but all of them, I'm glad you phrased them as I decided.
Yeah.
She decided. So you see, it's like you knew you were tired, but you're like, let me also run a marathon. Let me also start school. Let me also. And by the way, don't put anything past Lydia. Next week, you can find out. She's like, you know what, guys? I've decided I'm going to space. I'm gonna go to space. And I literally will not be shocked. We'll just support you. and love you as you are.
No, I really want to. I want to tell myself that that's enough. I've done it. I've done it. Like, I think I've made steps forward in like almost every single area of my life.
Right?
Yeah, it's enough.
It definitely is enough, guys. Yeah. But thank you guys so much for riding with us this entire year. Another group of people that have ridden with us the whole year is the Beducated team. I love me Beducated. We love working with Beducated because they are so aligned with our mission, with our purpose, with our dream of seeing all women actually, let's say women and men, but like particularly women, I would say.
Yeah.
Sexually emancipated and just living their best sexual lives. And this is another episode in partnership with Beducated, who we love so much.
Yeah.
And this particular episode, I was like, when I saw the topic, I was just like, lol. Giggle.
Yeah.
laugh. Yeah. So basically, we're going to be talking about things that are ruining relationships more than cheating.
Yeah.
More than cheating.
For sure.
In this day and age.
And do you know what? Yeah. Funny enough, of course, there's a cheating because he's a whore or she's a whore. There's that. But I think there's also the cheating, which is like a symptom of a lot of the things which we're going to say.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like sometimes I feel like that tends to be an expression of something else that's happening.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
In a lot of cases. So I think even these ones are more like
symptoms.
These are like the root cause.
Right, the root cause, yeah.
And
also, I don't know if it's that because of social media, we have become desensitized to the concept of like partners cheating, or maybe it's just in my own mind, but like it just doesn't seem as shocking anymore. Do you know what I mean? Like,
it's definitely not shocking.
Yeah, it just feels like, okay. And then?
Yeah, but for me, it's still a massive boundary. Right, but it's like when that does happen to someone, it's like, yeah, that's bad. But you know, now, this is the problem. The standard or the stairway to hell is limitless. So like cheating was just like, oh, I had sex with someone or whatever. No, that's boring. Now we are going to sex with prostitutes. That's the new thing. Then if you go further down, cheating while pregnant. If you go further down, is what's further than that? I think that's
cheating
it.
while she's in labor.
Cheating while she's in labor, on the way to labor.
But remember, also women cheat.
And so running from labor to cheat.
Right.
It's never ending. That's the thing. I just think it's not saying that cheating itself it's just like there's now gradients, you know, like you thought this was it.
Yeah.
I promise you
there are layers and there are levels. Yeah.
Further and further.
Also, I feel like it kind of like there was a time where we were in our minds, we were like, this is the worst thing that a partner can do. Like this is now the cheating. Without the cheating, at least all these other things you can like manage. But now actually I don't think that's the case because there are things which are far worse than cheating.
Actually,
I feel like they are
so much more.
There are
I've
many things.
always held neglect up there,
right?
More than anything else.
I had never, the concept of neglect.
Horrible.
Actually, you're the first one who introduced the concept of neglect, even though I guess it's there, but maybe I just had never named it in my head, right? Or I had never seen it like in action, you know, kind of thing. But now every time you say it, I'm like, yeah, but that's really bad.
It's actually the worst. They're like, someone is not talking to you. They're just not here. They're in the house, but they're not here. Oh my God.
Yeah. I know.
Hold me.
But also they're there. They're there. In the concept of, for example, neglect, but it's because your partner is struggling with mental health illness. They are in depression. They are struggling with anxiety. They have bipolar.
Yeah.
You know, something has happened, like they're going through grief and they're not able to
I don't even think I would articulate that as neglect. I think I would be like, your capacity is diminished.
Right.
There's
but
a
now
difference.
It's been 6 months. Now it's been a year.
Yeah. But actually, when I think about that, even like grief, it's like if I was in a relationship in that time, don't touch me.
Exactly.
Don't even dare bring that penis near me.
Oh my God, not the penis catching flack for no reason. Damn.
So it can be that. And I've seen that people actually do stay in those early stages of grief for ages.
Yeah, sometimes, especially if someone is not like in therapy, if they're not being able to process, if they're not in a place where you're even able to take enough time off to heal.
It's a thing that could change things.
Very, very challenging.
So anyway, that's what we're going to be talking about, guys. Other things that destroy relationship aside from cheating. What would you say? What's your one?
I would say addiction. Addiction, I feel like that's one. Yeah, that's the first one actually that comes like top of my mind. I'm just thinking about like in my relationship right now, what's one thing that I would say like this one, even more than cheating, this is the one which I would just be like, I'm not staying. Yeah. And I feel like because having grown up in a home where like addiction has been there, having seen my sister also struggle with addiction and just seeing how addiction literally like uncover, like literally it just destroys the very, those movies where it's like that the earth is green, then everything turns black. That's literally what addiction does to a family. It's literally what it does to a home, to a marriage, to a relationship. There's no positive when it comes to addiction.
100%.
I would say that's the one.
What time, I think you had said before, the amount of time you'd give, it was your partner.
Had I said like a year? I think I had said a year. Yeah. But I don't know if it's like, because you see, addiction doesn't just like start like, oh, you are just drinking, then now suddenly you're an addict. It's like, obviously there's like a build up to it. But I feel like between when we recognize you have a problem and it's been a year of me trying to get you.
You recognize it. I recognize that
I recognize I tell him, you have a problem, Zach. And then now it's like, I need you to get help. And it's been between then and now it's been a year of, we have been trying to get help. It's not working. Actually, it depends. If in that time, it's like I can see he's actively working, but keeps sleeping, but is actively working towards it, that's
different,
manageable. However,
if he's in denial,
no, that's just not something I'm willing to live through.
Yes. If you're watching the diabolical season of Love is Blind US, oh my God. The telenovela that is that show, there is a guy there who is like, he's drinking more than normal and it seems to be habitual. So it's just like, a tequila bottle is done within like a couple of days. Like there's always like a 12-pack is done in like 2-3 days. And she's noticing that, first of all, this is like a weekday experience, And I can see how she's like trying to tread around that because he is like, okay, so what? I take a couple of beers after, he's there. And I can see how hard it would be to be able to convince someone like it's a problem.
Also, if your first response as soon as I've brought up, babe, I'm a little concerned about this, is immediately to jump back in defense. That in itself.
No, but that is the norm.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody.
Yeah.
If you're having a couple of drinks and I'm just like, Joe, I think you've been having one too many.
This is my life.
Exactly.
This is my life.
That's the natural thing to do.
Also, I feel like because we're just living in a society where drugs and alcohol have become so normalized. So even when you're saying that more than normal, what is considered normal in our society right now is definitely not what was considered normal 10, 20 years ago. Right now, so many people like drink at home. I feel like that never used to be the norm. Unless maybe as a
that's
child,
scary. For me, that's
exactly. I never know who it's like you'll drink at home or like, I don't know, you'll drink daily.
Yeah.
Is that now what's normal? Is one drink a day normal? Is only once on the weekend? Do you know what I mean? It's like, what is the normal?
If you've got to keep taking the edge off, let's discuss the edge. That's just my rule of thumb.
But if it's like, if what you're using to take the edge off is not, let's say, alcohol, it's like, let's say, sex with my man, and I need to have sex with him every day for me to take the edge off. Is that addiction?
Either way, to me.
Ask you for a friend.
Yeah. Either way, whatever is like, it's becoming like habitual. It's like whatever it is, the tension or the anxiety or whatever is happening in your life that we need an outlet. And now it's like a month. Like a month of consistently doing something to take the edge off. I want to discuss the edge.
Right.
That's it.
Not everybody who drinks, and I'm just using alcohol because that's the one that I've had most experience of like addiction with. Not everybody who's drinking, it's like to take the edge off. Because take the edge off, it's kind of like, I'm in this tense and this one makes me relax. For many people, and that's why the alcohol company, their slogan is Celebrate Life, is that they're encouraging you to take alcohol to like, it's like a positive thing. So it's like, I'm happy, this just helps me celebrate to be happier, So it's like, things are good.
What we
and when I
celebrate
take it, it's just like
being alive.
Life. Yeah. You see, because you're always saying like, every day is special. Wear the outfit, buy the dress, put on the makeup, use the cute china, drink the wine. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. Apart from use the china and wear the dress is not pouring toxins in my body that manipulate my decision making.
Right.
That's the difference.
That is certainly
that's
that tiny little
difference. Is why we need to have a sit down and have a bit of a chat.
I get it, baby.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
1 year for me, addiction done. You?
100%.
But also I'm saying that from this side. If it happens in my marriage, I can't really say really.
Yes, that neglect where there's no communication. I don't know what's going on with you. You're shutting me off. You're at home. You're not here, but you're here. That to me would kill me. I don't even know if I can do that for a month.
But in that 1 month, you are trying.
Yes, of course.
Okay, fine.
It's like, what's
can
going
we
on?
Sort this out?
Nothing. I'm fine. We are at dinner. Dead silence and nothing. And actually, to be honest, I think what I would say is like the root cause of that is destroying the fabric of what made you guys fall in love with each other. That I would say is like what is at the core of that. Because if he was a stone before, then there's no big deal.
I guess so,
but if it's like it destroys the fabric of like what we know to be normal, the dance of our relationship, what we like of each other, that destroying of like what was core is what frightens me. And I know things change. Like I've been in a long-term relationship, I know things change. But there's like, you know, it's like, you know what made you guys the beat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's why you guys were telling you about Beducated, because Beducated helps you stay at the center of what made your life or your sex life really beautiful. And for you, true. For people who don't know what Beducated is the biggest resource of sex ed in the world.
That is true.
Over 150 courses to help you with self-pleasure, with intimacy, understanding your body, connecting with your partner, and they are expert-led. And that's the difference between that and YouTube, your TikTok friend, Murugi Munyi and Lydia KM up on TMI.
Saying whatever they want.
Whatever they want. Yeah, no, if you do this with your leg. No, this is expert-led. So the information you're going to be getting is going to be leading you wherever you want to go, whether it's an intimacy thing, whether you want to spice things up, it's completely up to you. But there's so much you can find on Beducated.
Absolutely. And if you use our code TMI podcast, you are getting 50% off your yearly subscription. Someone DM'd me the other day and asked, it was like, if this is such a good resource, why do they have to make us pay for it? It's because of what Lydia has said. Yeah. I was just like, yeah, okay, fine. Of course, because she's like, porn is free. I was like, and there's a reason. And there's a reason. These ones are expert-led. Like literally when you go to a course, you will see that they have like an audio version, video version, there's even like written, like there's just so many,
really well
like
done.
A complex, well-rounded, well-thought-through way of representing the information in a way that is not, what did I say? It's not
casual, reckless.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like it's very educational. It's really, really useful. Highly recommend it. One thing that is killing your relationships, you're not prioritizing your sex life. You're just assuming, especially in long-term relationships, you're just assuming things are going to go well. You know, you don't need to put in much effort. It's just going to be, it's natural. It's just something which should just come naturally. Not all the time, baby.
Invest.
Not all the time. Sometimes invest. Use our code TMI podcast. Go on to beducated.com. Log in, sign up. You have a 14-day money-back guarantee. If you go on to Beducated and you don't see it as useful, which I can already tell you that's definitely not gonna happen. And by this, for people who are in relationships and people also who are single, because it has a lot to do with like self-pleasure, as she's mentioned.
Dating.
People who are dating, whether you're in a homosexual relationship or you are in a heterosexual relationship or otherwise, also it's for you. Even throuple, even quadruple, even quintuple.
You will discover a new world. I promise you.
Exactly.
I promise you. Yeah. So I think that would be it for me. That's like getting so far away from like what was center and what made our relationship beautiful.
Right. I absolutely agree with that. So in something that is causing relationships to end more than cheating is, I thought this take was really, really useful. Someone said, no one studies how to be successful in a relationship. If you want to be a plumber, electrician, doctor, lawyer, you go to school, you study, you're tested. People just jump into relationships without ever studying how to be a husband or wife, then wonder why they fail. You wouldn't let a surgeon practice surgery on your heart. You want an expert. But you let someone with no practice or expertise handle your heart in a relationship.
Yeah. I feel like that's giving type A. I need you to just like calm down. Like dating is not it's not a science in the way it's like algebra 1, 2, 3.
Exactly,
there is an art to it, and there is actually like science-backed information. But you will find that what is you can apply here, you can't apply over here.
Exactly.
You know? And actually, one of the things that, funny enough, I'm constantly hearing like dating coaches talk about why it can be a struggle for like successful, very like high, like, you know, high achiever women date is because you're trying to apply that same to this one. Where it's not that. There's like all these nuances. There's like when you're communicating to someone, you have to communicate to them. Not what you heard is the best way to communicate. This monkey here is unique, and you need to speak to him, you know, uniquely to him. And so I do understand that it's important to invest in education, understanding how to communicate people. But no matter what you do, sweetie, you gotta get in there.
Exactly. Also, it's like saying that now people who this is their first relationship won't be successful, but this is your 10th. So we should be aiming to date somebody who has had 10 girlfriends. I don't think that's the case. Would you say it's the same for sex then?
Sex definitely needs practice. However, I've got to say what people I feel like don't do when it comes to sex is that you're not having sex with people you really want to have sex with. It's just like a random thing. I don't do that.
Right.
The person I'm having sex with is someone who I'm like, there's something about them that feels like it aligns with like sexual energy. So I tend to I've always had great sex because of that thing. Whereas now it's just like you're having sex because you want him to want you. You're having sex because
he asked.
You know what I mean? It's like you're having a lot of sexual experiences where you're not really into it. Because when you're into it and it's aligned, it's a really, really good experience.
Good,
but practice makes perfect.
For sure. I would say for both sex and love or like romantic relationships in this context, I would say knowing yourself, studying yourself, knowing what you like, what you want, and like you being able to manage your own heart and your own feelings and be able to communicate effectively and whatever, that's what actually helps in relationships. So what can you do to prepare yourself to be a good partner in a relationship? Therapy, I don't know, learning how to communicate, like reading books on love and whatnot. 100%. Of course, not everything is going to apply in all relationships, but there are some basics, how to communicate. And some of those things, it goes beyond just a romantic relationship. It's also just in a friendship. When I am hurt, how do I manage that? When someone says something that is unkind or whatever, how do I manage that? When my partner or my friend or whatever is going through a difficult time, how do I manage that? Those are basics which I feel like anyone can be able to like take into a relationship and definitely at least improve it. Not necessarily that now it's going to guarantee chances of success, but like you could try.
I agree. 100%. Another thing that destroys our relationship nowadays more than cheating, in my opinion, is lack of self-introspection and lack of acceptance that we are not perfect. I think there's it's you thing that we do in relationships. It's not about how I'm reacting to you. It's the fact that you're doing this. No, look what you did. I did that because you did that. Everyone is just kind of pointing the finger outward. Because when you're in a romantic relationship, the dynamic you're replicating is the one with your primary caregivers. So you turn into a complete child. Like literally all your trigger points are here, they're awake. And when you do turn into a child emotionally, you are doing things which are childish. And we all do it.
You're really shouting, babe.
Yeah, it's true. We turn into little children who are just like, daddy love me, mommy love me. And in a dynamic where there's a child and a parent, it's self-centered from the child's perspective. Now you're both doing that to each other. So it's like basically you are here to serve me, to do what I need you to do, and me, I'm here as a child to be served. So when we are in those kind of environments, or when we do regress into a child self and we are not able to self-introspect and remember that we are not perfect, all conversations are about you need to do so that I can do. And then when you get at that juncture, is a problem. You see how difficult people struggle to just say, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know.
Sitting and hearing your partner saying, yesterday you did something that was really messed up and that hurt me. What you're hearing is, I am bad. I am not good enough. You hate me. You're going to leave me like daddy did. That's what you heard. But the adult said, you hurt me.
All right.
So that constant miscommunication without the tools to be able to decode language from that perspective is one of the biggest things that people are struggling with, in my opinion.
Right. I feel like that's definitely something that I struggle with. And I feel like I constantly have to step outside of myself to remind myself that Zach is also a human being and a person. I know I'm shaking tables.
Shake the tables.
Yeah. But actually, by the way, it's more difficult than one may imagine.
Extremely difficult.
Especially, because sometimes I'm just like, how can he be so selfish? Like, he's not even thinking about, like, what? And then, but if I take a step back and think about, like, in this exact context, how is Zach, like, no, sometimes actually I don't even like to put myself in Zach's shoes. It's kind of just, like, annoying. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I don't want to imagine that way. But when I take a step back and just be like, oh, yeah, Zach also has needs and wants and feelings. Oh, and there's also things he wants to achieve. There are also things which make him feel good and things which make him feel bad and whatever. It's like,
give me lip gloss.
Oh, I thought you wanted to hold hands to encourage me. What the
move?
Lydia, please. This was a moment for encouragement. Okay, no. And funny enough, I don't know why it's so easy for me to think that way in like friendships. Do you know what I mean? I guess maybe it's because there's no, like, my emotional, I don't rely on you emotionally. Is that why?
It's because we are not replicating your child and primary caregiver dynamic. When it's a romantic relationship, you are. So you do turn into a child emotionally.
Oh, God, that's
and
actually
that
insane,
without being able to decode the language that's actually happening. So you guys are arguing about the dishes, but you really are like, you are making me feel not good enough the way my mom did. That's really what you're trying to say. And most people do not have the courage or capacity to even understand that that's what they're saying, so they can't even communicate it.
Right.
People are saying communication. How do you communicate what you don't understand yourself?
You yourself don't even know that. Yeah. So how are you?
more self-introspection and working on the capacity to understand that you are not perfect and it's okay for the other person to do wrong, for sure. And the reason I point this out, by the way, my friend,
tell me, my friend,
is because I've realized that now I am okay with just being human and being able to be wrong. There's some things that Aggie is going through in therapy, and some of them are tied to like some things which like something to do with our relationship, and sitting and listening.
I'm uncomfortable.
There you go. But you know what?
Yes.
I've realized that the way I'm carrying myself lately, and it's because of a lot of grace, because I'm doing a lot of shame dissolving in therapy, is that I'm a human being. I can wrong people. Hold tight. I can wrong people. I can be imperfect. I can leak all over people. All of those things are part of my humanity. And that has taken so much work to sit in that. So when I hear Aggie say that something her done may have affected her negatively, in a way that I didn't even realize, I can sit with that. And my value isn't moving. It doesn't change who I am as a person. I'm expanding to accept imperfection and wrongs.
Right.
And what a wonder.
What a wonder.
What a wonder, guys.
That's actually crazy. So this is the two things that I struggle with when it comes to that, because it's like, yeah, of course, some of us are imperfect, like Lydia. But like, it's one, when you're in a dynamic where mostly you are the one who's doing the emotional work, right?
Why are you in that?
It feels, he's my husband, please.
Oh, here we are. Okay.
I'm married to him. We have 3 kids. I've told you this. Okay, fine, right? Yeah.
Sometimes
and he's still working towards, accepting therapy as like a form of like, being able to like look into your past and see how it causes, Yeah. So when you're in that kind of dynamic, I feel like my first thought, whenever I'm like, okay, yeah, let me see him as human and let me, just like, yeah, listen and like, what feels like sacrifice for the sake of the relationship?
Why is that sacrifice?
Because it feels like when now you tell me I'm able to, because I'm like alive to what it is that you're saying, and because I'm doing the emotional work, I can be able to appreciate where you're coming from. But if I do the same, will it be appreciated the same way that I appreciated when you were doing it? Do you know what I mean?
Are you doing it for appreciation, or are you doing it to participate in the emotional health of the relationship?
So I am doing it to participate in the emotional health, but definitely I feel like there's an underlying, let me not use the word requirement, there's an underlying desire that it will be, that it's like, it's give and take. But when it feels like it's more give, then it's like, I wouldn't want to end up in a dynamic where I'm constantly, like, I've allowed myself to be a doormat because me, I'll always say sorry, but you always say sorry. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, me, if I've said sorry this time, I expect that you're going to also say sorry when I bring up something in a similar way.
Right. Okay. So now, is this that it's happened that you feel like when you do say sorry, it's not appreciated? Do you have evidence of that?
No.
So it's imagined.
Yeah. But you see, it's like
that is why. That is what is killing relationship nowadays more than cheating. I actually thought you were going to say, yeah, I've done it before. And he said, go piss off. I don't care. I don't value. You mean nothing to me.
So this is actually what I think kills relationships these days. You see, and I'm aware.
Continue your stupid point.
Yeah, is the constant doing something or because of wanting the exact thing back. Like you want it to be reciprocated exactly the way you have done it. Do you know what I mean?
It's not possible.
Yeah, I know it's not possible. But I feel like now that one of like keeping score of like, this time I did this. And like, so now I expect that when I do this, remember I had done this other one. And then now
I think this is something you struggle with.
It is something I struggle with.
As you're speaking and as you're flowering out.
Yeah.
I'm like.
I find it difficult to not keep score. But do you know what I mean? Everything is keeping score.
That is a problem for sure in relationship. But also my thing is, there's no score because you've never tried.
Yeah. And actually, more often than not, Zach is really way more like understanding, forgiving, that kind of thing. Or maybe actually, could it be the feminist in me that I'm constantly looking for, like, I don't ever want to be in a situation where I'm the doormat. I'm the one who like was always forgiving, was always accepting, was always understanding, was always, just like allowing that kind of thing. But then now it not being the other way around.
Feminism is humanity. we all want to be given equal space in the in the situations which we exist in. So that's just a human thing to not want to feel like you're powerless or you're being like over dominated and taking the piss out of. That's just human. However, it seems like, do you feel like the dynamic is already this way? Because where if you feel already you're in equal footing, asking for, all I've got to say is like, can we try?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah,
it's more of like I come from the school of thought of like being more preventative. Do you know what I mean? It's like I'm trying to prevent the situation so that there's been any evidence that it will be that way.
Okay, I completely understand that, and it's like a protective measure because
I think it's a protective measure.
If you do get vulnerable, you do go share, and you do get the reaction which you are afraid of. It's going to be a double whammy of like whatever. However, as we sit here without wanting to be vulnerable, what is it we are walking towards? Since we are preventing this, where are we going? Aren't we going further and further away from...
You're right. Yes. Yeah. But anyway, now you see, I practice where like a situation of communication where it's like I communicate what it is I want in advance, so that it's like I know you can't possibly let me down because I've told you how not to let me down.
That is a really, really good quality. Yes. That's a really good tip that you've added.
Yeah. Sometimes it annoys me that I have to do it. Like I wish it's like I didn't have to do it, and maybe I actually don't, but I just feel like I'm not willing to risk not saying it. I would rather say, I want to tell you something, and what I really would love from you is an apology and an explanation about X and Y and Z. So that now it's like, you know what I'm expecting.
Yeah. I think with time, is like now when somebody does study you, then they'll kind of understand, okay, this is what is required of me.
Yeah,
One would hope so anyway. So then you don't necessarily have to always ask. Yeah. I gotta tell you, like every time I think about growing with someone in a relationship, knowing that who I was at 25 is somebody I wouldn't even have coffee with right now versus now. So to know that you've been experiencing your husband with during that growth, all of the complexities and all of the things that come with that, I have a lot of grace and admiration for you. And I really do respect the tensions that exist and how hard it must be to navigate. So even as I talk, I'm talking because obviously me, I'm not in the relationship from that perspective, but it's not because I don't understand the weight of what it could be, because I've seen even a difference of 3 years. Yeah, my longest relationship was just 3 years. And the jump of who I became, I was like,
exactly.
What?
And all the external things that also impact who and how you are at that time, changing jobs, a new child coming into the dynamic, someone's relationship with other people changing, and that impacts your relationship also. Like death. Literally so much, guys. Even like things like COVID, or I don't know, like
people got redundant there.
Exactly, like so many things impact, and I feel like actually the strength of our relationship is being able to grow towards each other, or like together with each other towards wherever. And sometimes, by the way, you guys can both be amazing people, 100%. And you're not able to grow together, and you're able to recognize that who you are now and who I am now, they just aren't here.
100%. I agree with that.
My God,
no, let me tell you guys, when married people walk in, please stand up. I don't want to see anyone sat down.
Guys. Oh my God.
Auntie Nani and Uncle Nani wameingia. Please. Because it's not easy.
It's really not easy,
really
guys.
It's not easy.
Maureen Bandari put up this poll on her stories. Was it yesterday or day before yesterday? But she said, your husband or your boyfriend or whatever is sentenced to 9 years in prison. Are you staying?
That's
Are
not
you
my man
waiting
anymore.
for...
What I've got to say is, if I knew about the crime and I knew the potential consequence, no, for sure. If I knew about the crime, I'm writing because we knew. But if I didn't know about the crime, you got sentenced for 9 years. I'll be your friend in jail, but I'm definitely not staying.
Okay, your husband with whom you have children,
he's not going to be here for 9 years.
Yeah, so you're going to divorce him?
Especially if it's a crime I didn't know about.
Yeah.
Yes. What are we discussing?
But it wasn't like such a bad crime. It was like, let's say it was fraud, financial fraud, tax fraud.
Yeah, that's a white collar.
You know what I mean? It's like he didn't kill somebody. He didn't. Yeah.
Right. Like, the crime would definitely matter.
Exactly,
big
for
time.
Sure. But it's tax fraud. So I feel like
it changes depending on the crime.
If it's a boyfriend, there's nothing we're discussing. 9 years, person is not your man anymore. Yes. If it's my husband with whom I have children, I feel like 10 years is the limit.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Does Beducated have a course?
Are you allowed to
my
cheat?
man is, of course.
Okay,
Girl,
I'm allowed to cheat.
you're allowed to cheat,
Right.
Def.
Of course.
Come on.
I'll
No
stay.
way.
I'll stay. If it's open, you should have led with that. Damn.
Also, does Kenya have like conjugal rights? They must, right?
Yeah, you do. Actually,
Okay.
let me not say that. Lawyers,
Please
us know.
let us
Do you
know.
have
Is there-
conjugal rights? Because
yeah.
I feel like that's like a universal.
Is it?
I think so.
You see, it's also like capacity issues. Like think of how our prisons are overloaded already. Everyone is getting conjugal rights? How? And what's the bed situation? Like, are they providing a nice bed? Is there like candles, flowers, or something? Like,
Baby.
yeah.
I don't think this is gonna work out for
also,
you.
is he in a nice prison? Like, what kind of
There's no
situation?
nice prisons in Kenya, are there?
Is there? I
I
don't
don't
know.
think so. I've watched that. What's it? I think it's called Jeraine, Jeracito, or something like that. In Noro, it means our prisons.
Right.
Yeah. Watch that, mate.
Right, guys, if you are a follower and you've had a partner in prison, I would actually be so interested to hear what the dynamics have been like. Did you stay with your partner? Did you not stay with your partner? What is the sex situation like if you guys are still together?
And sex is not even it's the biggest deal. It's just I just don't see myself depriving myself of warmth and cuddles and kisses and
Affection.
sex for 10 years.
But it's like this.
However, we say this because we are not there. So we don't know. But I would assume that would change everything for me.
Plot twist. He is in prison for a crime he did not commit. It's just that he was wrongfully convicted.
Yeah, I think I'm a rider for things like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll ride. But 10 years.
10 years, guys. Like, what? Yeah.
And the question is, would he stay with you? That question will never be asked to men because they're out. You are on your own. You are on your own.
That's a really bad. May feel like my husband would stay with me. Yeah,
but to stay for vibes. You come and visit you every so often.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
and that's it.
And we're still married. Like we're not. He
won't divorce you.
Exactly.
I don't think you do. Actually, a lot of men actually are more committed creatures than women.
I think so.
By far.
Yeah, but
they tend to follow through.
It's committed. Like we are married.
Oh yeah,
but
committed.
It's like cheating, but it's like we are married.
Yes,
I would stay in the marriage.
100%.
That's what we
I'm
mean by committed.
staying and I'm not leaving. Is what I meant.
That's it.
By
that's
that.
it. You're right.
So someone says also another thing that destroys relationships nowadays more than cheating is not keeping God first in the relationship. I have a note for this.
Not putting God first in the relationship. Okay.
Let me tell you. First of all, that feels really abstract to me. Like what does that mean? So is it that if someone makes a mistake, if someone cheats, are they keeping God in the center of the relationship, or is it for me to keep God in the center by praying and forgiving? You see where the trick becomes,
right? Yeah,
because is it, or is it like because you're sinning, you're human, so that happens, and that's within the context of Christianity. So then, if you sin, that's not a reason to leave because you are a sinner. And it's for me to find and you see what I mean? When you see those Christian couples who are diabolically, disgustingly treating each other so terribly, it's always that way.
And it's never treating each other badly. It's him treating her badly.
And it's also like, God has given me the grace to forgive him for cheating with my sister, for cheating with men, for beating me, for leaving us for 2 years to go have an affair.
For financial neglect in the relationship.
Seems to be glorified in the Christian community that this woman is keeping God in the center. But what about him?
Right.
That's the bit, because I feel like even in Christian relationships, the definition of putting God first in the relationship is not the same.
Right. Yeah, I completely agree with you. And I feel like that statement in itself is usually used to make women stay in relationships they definitely should have left a very long time ago. It definitely is skewed one way. For me, when I hear putting God first in the relationship, all what I heard, although now when you've said it, I'm less like, oh yeah, by the way, that's a different way to look at it. But what I saw is like, you prioritize your spirituality in the relationship. So both of you prioritize your spiritual growth, spiritual wellness. That's the way that I saw it. But for me, I would say more the way that I would say in terms of like God and spirituality and religion is, I would say spiritual misalignment is something that kills relationships more than cheating. I would say spiritual misalignment in that we get into a relationship. For me, I have like, you've said like, obviously when we are dating, it's like, oh, what are you, whatever. Yeah, I'm a Christian. Everyone just says I'm a Christian. You know, it's just like, it's the easiest thing. And we are raised in a Christian country. So maybe the expectation there is different. It's like, so for me, I'm like, oh, we go to church on Sundays. You believe in going to church on Christmas and on Easter and whatever. Or for me, it's like, oh, I expect that we are going to raise our kids like reading the Bible, praying every night. For you, it's kind of like, that's like, it's like a negotiable. It's like when we have the time or whatever. That spiritual misalignment, I feel like that's something that kills relationships, because then it's like my version of Christianity and your version of Christianity, like less to do with like what's happening in the relationship, more to do with how we live our lives, is misaligned.
100%. Yeah. That statement to me is like who God is, how God should be worshipped, how all of that is too subjective.
Yeah.
So then even as you're saying, if you agree,
it's very subjective. Yeah.
It's not agreeing.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, ladies, when you're dating, one of the things you need to ask consistently is, what does that look like?
Thank you.
I want us, like the other day, I was talking to this guy and he was like, one of the things that he's looking for in women, 2 things he's looking for in women, intelligence and selflessness.
No.
Question.
No.
What does selflessness look like?
Those are the 2 that...
Yeah. Because I was like, it's 50%. If it's 50% a pass mark.
Is he still in the roster?
No, he's coming into. He's not like somebody who's already in the roster. Yeah. So it's like, what does that look like? I was once in a relationship and he was talking about how, you know, the man is the head and he's a provider or whatever, and then the woman is a neck or whatever. I was like, what does that look like on a day-to-day? And I give an example. We both work because you are attracted to a boss babe, right? You want me to work. It turns you on. We are both working. You got home before me. Who's preparing dinner?
What did he say?
He was like,
we're ordering in, obviously.
Yeah, or whether you're ordering or whatever, it's whose responsibility is it to sort dinner? So you need to ask that when someone says they're the head of the household, what does that look like on a day-to-day? Because those are the things you guys are going to argue about. Yeah. So for him, he might mean like, no, of course no, I don't really care. I'll order dinner. Who cares? Another man is going to be like, you are preparing dinner. And also, he doesn't eat food that's not fresh that night.
Good night.
Exactly. So I think we need to, like, we have all of these like abstract views that we pick up. Head, neck, head of the household. Sijui, he's my firstborn. He's my firstborn, but he's the head. You know, they're all abstract. What does that look like on a day-to-day? Then when you guys are clear about those, then you can see where the misalignment is. Because you're right about that spirituality thing.
It's true. Selflessness.
Literally, I was just like, I don't want anyone to ever define me as selflessness.
No, my first question to him would be like, are you intelligent and selfless?
And the question is, why would you require somebody else to be selfless? In which dynamic do you require someone to be...
and is anyone truly selfless? Because even our parents, who literally like their life's mission was like to raise us and like to make us people, even they aren't that selfless. You know what I mean? Like everyone to some extent operates with their own selfish whatever, and which is okay. Like you should be the center. I should be the center of my life. Why am I being selfless?
No.
Actually, no. Even intelligence, by the way, that's something I would also be like, what does that look like to you? Does it mean like, okay, when you come up with ideas, you expect like we can have, you know, healthy debate, you know, kind of thing? Or is it more like you want me to be like, what do you mean when you say intelligence kind of thing? Another one, when a man says a healthy sex life, what does a healthy sex life look like to you? Because these are not conversations people are having.
Yeah,
to me,
what does that look like on a day today?
To me, are we sexually aligned? To me, it's like healthy sex life is we've had sex 3 times a week. To you, it's like, oh, we've had sex every day. And if we're not having sex every day, then we don't have a healthy sex life. Are we sexually misaligned? Those are important questions to be asking.
That's crazy.
Very important questions to be asking. Yeah, I think there's a course like that on Beducated, but I don't know which exact course it is.
About
something like libidos, or something even just to do with like like sexual alignment or something like that. You'll search for me, we'll put it over here. But it's that is an essential thing, because if you're sexually misaligned, that's one thing that can actually destroy a relationship. And the sad part is when you discover it too late, because now you're married.
Yeah, and also no understanding that. You know what I mean? Because it tends to be the person who's not giving the sex is the problem.
Yeah.
Are they?
Ooh, right.
Are they?
Yeah.
No. They are completely within their right to feel the way that they're feeling. Yeah. And expectations, by the way, kill relationships.
Honestly. Also, another thing, let me tell you, that I appreciate about Beducated is I've realized that as somebody who we talk about sex so often, we are constantly having sex. We are sex. We're not sexperts, but we are sex enthusiasts. Many times when I go on Beducated and they've added new courses, I realize how much more I don't know about sex. Do you ever feel that way when you go on Beducated? It's like, oh, so there's that. Oh, so there's this. So there's this. And I realize that it helps me be more open-minded, but also helps me. It's like, remember, think about like you get into a relationship, your partner says something about like something you know nothing about. The only thing you've ever had about dirty talk is just basically what you've seen in movies or whatever. And it's like you want to know more about it to be like, okay, is this something I could do, something I couldn't do with before you actually get into the act. Beducated helps with that because at least you can go on there, you can be like, so this is what they mean by Buddhism. Right, I get it. Buddhism.
Yeah, it's also like that one, dealing with rejection when it comes to like being misaligned, because a lot of people, it's difficult to keep loving someone when you are taking rejection from them, whereas really they are within their right to be feeling the way that they're feeling. That can actually be tricky. Even in the show I was watching, Couples Therapy, they had a tough one of that, like a mismatch in libido, like the woman wasn't feeling connected to themselves, and then how he was feeling, and it was genuinely valid. You know,
feeling rejected
and feeling like a perv. That's what he said. Yeah,
because now it's looking like I'm too over eager. Like, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Beducated is going to help you with so many things, guys. Please just go check it out and make sure you use our discount TMI podcast
exactly
for 50%.
Something else. Okay, sorry, you have a point.
Go. I think it was me who said the last one.
Right. Something else that I feel like in this age of social media, and especially for like if you're a creator or you share your life online or whatever, or like just the ease of communication in today's world, something that I feel like is killing relationships more than infidelity is there are very many voices in relationships. It's not just you and your partner.
Yeah.
And like for you to talk to someone, you have to have called, through, I don't know which landline to call to, whatever. Now it just feels like everyone is in everyone's life, especially even more so for people who like you share your relationship online, or like, you talk about like these people who are always sharing their marriages and I don't know.
Keep boundaries. Stop oversharing, for God's sake.
There is so much information, even for people who don't necessarily share their relationships online. There's so much every time you go online. This is killing your relationship. If you do this, if you don't do this, you're going to end up in a bad relationship.
Right now.
Exactly. There is just so much information that is causing you to doubt yourself. Even if you're not sharing, you see someone else like, oh, hey, Lydia and her man have gone on a date thrice in 1 week. Babe, us we're not going. How come us we're not going? So much comparison. Social media is like you're throwing things in our faces. This person, it's their birthday. They've been given 7 days of gifts in 7 countries with 700 million, like...
You're in that cafe.
Exactly. You've been in our cafe
for dinner.
And you didn't even get a nice table, like a corner table. No, it's literally you're in the middle of the restaurant. All that comparison, all that just like noise, always constantly hearing so many things about like, this is how your relationship should be. Is your relationship even strong if you're not doing this? Are you doing this? Whatever. I feel like that's killing relationships. Yeah. People are not focused now on their own and just like, okay, let me appreciate my husband for who he is. No. Why isn't he like that one? Why isn't he doing X and Y and Z? Your friends telling you, your favorite influencer telling you, this podcast you've been listening to, whatever. Yeah, leave. Exactly. There you are. The person telling you leave and she's in a man's arms tonight. You know what I mean? It's just like, that's it. I feel like that's definitely killing relationships right now.
10 out. I would even say that that's probably like the biggest one.
Right.
Yes. And it's the biggest one because it's like involuntary. I heard the most wonderful catchphrase. I'm so sorry, I'm forgetting the creator's name. And he was like, some things you're taught, some things you catch. And now social media and some things you catch. So social media is things we catch. Right. We're not taught and we don't think we are getting it and we are catching them, but we are. So everything that is around us is making us catch all of these things. But now social media is so congested with complete gunk.
Yeah.
And you're constantly catching it. And it's manipulating how you're acting in relationships. So even if it's not like an obvious one,
it's not
like
conscious.
It's not conscious. You're bringing it to bed.
It's true. And I feel like the way to combat that is being intentional about what kind of content we are consuming. Of course, it's not like you can, like, sometimes you just scroll and you just find a video, someone else has shared a video and you just happen to see it. But for me, I really try my best to be conscious, especially relationship
topics.
Relationship talk. It's like, if I've gone to this person's page and like I've already seen a couple of things of like men should or women should, or if this person is not doing this, they hate you or they don't love you. It's like, be careful about like what are the motives of that person who is telling you. Here, by that TMI, you can trust us because we just want the best for you.
We definitely want the best for you.
We do. But 100%. Even us, guys, it's not that we are like experts and it's like we are above. So everything you see online, anything you see anywhere, even if people are experts, take everything with a pinch of salt and see what can apply to you and what is not necessarily for you. Because like, as you said, sometimes it's just like a subconscious thing. Like I go home, I'm showing my man attitude because he did one thing and I'm like, wait, when did that become an issue? It wasn't an issue before, but I saw something online and then now it became an issue and it's like, wait, is that actually how I feel?
Yeah.
Or have I been made to think that actually I should feel bad about this particular thing? Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. To double down on that, if you're a creator, it's even harder because you're constantly getting admiration, constantly getting feedback about who you are. And when your partner is lacking in that kind of feedback, it's a problem. You don't mean to. But as soon as I open, I have how many DMs? I look beautiful. This is so great. Lydia did it. And then I've said hello to you and you haven't fallen on the ground worshipping me.
Actually, that's, girl. Do you know how many people online have told me I'm gorgeous today? Yeah.
That can be a problem.
Actually, it can
that
be
can
a
100% be a problem because just like the dopamine you get from constantly being admired and elevated and things like that, it can then be like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
And it's actually up to you to be able to manage that and like balance it. And I think the older I'm getting, the more I'm like just kind of feeling detached to like whether it's admiration or trolling. I'm getting a bit more balanced with that for sure. Especially because like words of affirmation is one of my love languages.
I think it's one of mine now. I don't think it used to be, but I feel like it is now. Maybe it's because of the fact that so many people say things online, but like when it's online, it's just like, okay, these are people who like, you're just seeing me, it's like this celebrity or famous person. But now I feel like when you say something or like my sister says something or like my Zach, well, yeah, he is my Zach. But like my husband says something, it really feels like, thanks.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's like, something.
Yeah, it really is something.
Yeah, I think it makes actually when people in real life say them, you know they are seeing you for who you are. So their compliments have like a lot more weight.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, so another thing that I think is killing relationship nowadays more than cheating is people are so disconnected from themselves and they're expecting other people to fix them. So for example...
Bloody hell, that just sounds deep.
And what I mean by that, in short, dishonesty. Let me say that. A short answer for that is dishonesty. I was on a phone the other day with a gentleman.
All of these are different men. All the ones she's referenced today, by the way, they're all different guys.
They're all different, ma'am.
Not
so a gentleman I was having a conversation with, and it's somebody who we had been seeing. You had said he's one of your faves.
Yeah.
One of his faves. And you see, her faves are always the ones I'm just like, shut up. Anyway, so we had been seeing each other. It was good, whatever. He came back and it wasn't clear whether or not. It wasn't clear, right? It wasn't clear what he's coming back for. So actually, I told him yesterday because he messaged me again. I was like, "Can we speak?" So we spoke, and I told him I'm feeling a bit confused because it doesn't seem to be clear. Like, what are you doing here now, right? I know what happened before, but now, like, what were you doing? And he spoke, and we had a great conversation, and he was saying all of the right things, and he apologized for how things had gone, and But I could feel that the emotions of what he was saying was not what was coming out. And because I'm so in tune with myself, I pick that up so easily. Yeah. It's called emotional leaking. It's when you're saying this, but the emotional...
I can hear through it. I can hear through it. Yeah.
So that is a big problem. And on Love is Blind right now, that happened. So this guy is not attracted to this girl because she's big. Right? Or according to him, he's big. But this girl is like size 12 at most. Right? But you know
according to him, she's big.
Yes.
Okay.
But I think she's like a size 12 max from what I'm seeing, right? Even how she looks in a bikini, I'm just like, what is this?
What's her name? I go Google
issue?
Now.
You check.
Okay.
And then what and for him, he said it's like he would prefer to be somebody smaller. He's allowed to have a preference. But because that is what is happening, everything he's saying is leaking through that. So she's feeling confident about the wedding. They have an argument about that because he's trying to basically say, because I'm not attracted to you and you're not my person. That's what he wants to say. And then he's frustrated because she's feeling that way, because he's also trying to manage how he's going to be perceived about not wanting someone because he doesn't like how she physically looks. All of that I can see is emotionally leaking through him. So she is feeling one thing because she can tell something is wrong, but his words aren't matching.
Didn't this happen in another season of Love is Blind where there was this Indian couple and this lady, I think she was called Vashti or something like that.
It always happens. I actually feel like as much as I don't think that now Love is Blind should stop bringing people who are plus size or something like that, but I think those are things you need to test in the contestants. Like, what kind of person are you looking for? Because it seems like you are using these big platforms to just kind of perpetuate fat phobia. Like, if you know these men are talking like about their preferences and you know everything that they're saying mix and match with what makes sense. Because there was a time, there's this other lady who, she was plus size, she didn't care, happy, married, Alex, they have a baby, it didn't matter. But I think that was one of the very few. It always causes an issue. Why don't you talk to people about this?
You see, now I feel like the concept that they are trying to perpetuate is like, you don't know anything about someone physically and just the emotional connection alone. But I feel like after all these seasons, we know for a fact that is not the case. It brings
an issue.
Literally, actually, it's impossible for you to imagine that the physical element of something is not going to impact, or the relationship is not going to impact the emotional connection. It's just impossible. It's okay for somebody to not want to be with a bigger person. I feel like that's allowed. But is there a way that just for this one thing, okay, I don't know, maybe for race and for size, people should just be able to ask?
Yeah, I feel like those are really big ones. Some people, race has not been an issue for sure.
But because it's like a thing, like it's...
Yeah, but I mean, people are also leaving each other because of their faces. So I don't know.
Also, I can empathize with where he is, because it's like you don't want to look like a douchebag,
and he does. Because he mentioned it. The second he mentioned it in the beginning, I was like, this is it. Nothing is happening. Nothing is happening.
So has the wedding happened?
Oh no, he left her. He had a panic attack when he was trying on like his dressing, like his groomsman outfit, and he just told her, "I'm not your person." She's like, "But why? What's missing?" He can't tell her. He still couldn't be honest.
Why can't we say, like, okay, what's a good way for him to have addressed that? What would have been the best way for him to address that?
I'm not attracted to you.
Is it because I'm fat?
I don't think she would even have said that, because I'm telling you, she's like, I would say she's mid-size. Maybe she's not something that she would think about.
Right.
Well, she's gonna know now. But yeah, it's I don't know if she would have gone there. Right. But even if he said, it's like, that's the truth. Let me tell you, therapy is rocking me and Aggie, and we are so honest. We are so honest. In fact, I would say it's too much. Even now, after that phone call, and I like after I told him how I feel, like even as we're talking right now, I can't read you. I can't read like what is actually true here. So I need let me just think about whether or not we want to talk. And then he messaged me later. He was just like, okay, do I give you... First of all, he was like, thank you so much for expressing yourself very honestly and expressively.
I feel because like I was given really, really honest. So much time and so many opportunities. Like, sir,
He was like, can I send you a message Can I send you a message to decide whether or not like it's okay for me to send you a message to check in on you? I was like, yeah, give me time. I'll think about it.
Okay, but now not like brutal honesty. It's just kind of like truthful honesty.
That was a question. I said, yeah. You should give me space for me to decide whether or not you should message me again. Wow. That emotional leaking, do you know what that does? It makes the other person do like 4 times, because their nervous system is reading those emotions. But what you're saying, it's cognitive and emotional dissonance. And it's like, it's so manipulative and it's a mindfuck.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes men do that without, like, they kind of imagine that that's better than just saying what the truth was. When really, time and time again, you have seen that actually just saying the truth is what is better. Like, if I come and then I'm just like, babe, things feel awkward. It's like, no, I'm fine. No, you know it's not fine. You know
that
oh
actually,
my God.
Joe, that not being able to be honest with your partner about what's going on, and women too, by the way. What's wrong? Nothing. That is it corrodes even someone signal to you. Like, so if you're saying yes when you mean no, it's like, I don't get to know when it's no and when it's yes. Yeah. But I'm calling that out. I don't want to be anywhere near somebody who's not able to be honest, especially the things that matter. I see it's like sometimes like I can read, you're feeling a bit embarrassed. You don't want to say the full truth. I also have, my sensibility, but that constant dishonest, for sure, it's not going to work.
Yeah. But also if you want your partner to be honest with you, then you need to also receive that honesty in a certain way, because if constantly they're trying to be honest with you, but you receive it with mocking, invalidating, you're not encouraging, you're not whatever, listening. Exactly, not listening, then of course they're not going to want to do that. And I feel like there's that also is something that causes relationships to end. It's just like, if you're not providing a space where I can be myself, then bloody hell. Hey, the men in your life are really... Is there anyone who's doing well?
But let me tell you, honestly, no matter how difficult the honest truth might be, I'm never rude. I am going to speak to you with respect, because obviously this is an exchange, and also with curiosity. Because when I did ask, like, why are you here? I meant that. I'm actually curious. So when he does give a reason, I don't get to dismiss it. I get to actually hear it and I listen. And if I can't tell him, if I can't get him, or I'm not being able to pick up like what's actually happening, I've got to speak about it from that perspective. I can't tell him you're being dishonest. No,
be like, this is how
I can't place you.
Yeah, right.
Something that I'm not able to place you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like speaking from your POV instead of like projecting on the other side.
I'm definitely you're lying.
Yeah.
You're lying. Yeah. Tell the truth.
Well, that's good. That's
but it's because you know you're lying. See, we just be serious. Stop lying.
I think one time you told me, you're just like, try again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, try again. Exactly.
No, I was this and then I did this.
Because like, let me give you another opportunity. Let me give you another opportunity to be honest. Because actually, sometimes people are... It's like they don't intend to lie, but maybe even you have not even told yourself what the truth is.
Yes.
So it's easier for you to like, oh, you want to process it. Yeah, so let me
try again.
That's it. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I've never ever forgotten that. Yeah. So try again.
Try again.
Yeah, that dishonesty I think is like, and for me, I don't know how I'm going to exist in relationships anymore. Oh, God. Because I want to get down to that.
Yeah.
Another thing that happened, someone called me. I don't save men's numbers until like it's long term, because like, why?
She's running a tight ship.
Yeah, no. Oh yeah, the program is crazy. No, it's serious. So then he called me, and there was a number previously that kept calling me, and I didn't know who it was. It was She's anniversary. I wasn't picking up. So he called me. Then I picked up. I was just like, who's this? And then he was just like, wow.
Listen. No.
I was like, are you the person who was calling me yesterday? He was like, no, I wasn't calling you yesterday. He was like, wow, I don't even know what to say now. Then he was just like, check WhatsApp. So I checked, I was like, oh. He was like, oh, you haven't saved my number. I was like, no, it's been like a day. Right? Then now he was just kind of like trying to kind of make it like whatever.
Yeah.
I was just like, what was that reaction about you saving the number? He was like, oh, no, he's good. I was like, I don't sweep things under the rug. What was that? So he called me. And he was just like, he just felt a bit shocked that I hadn't saved his number because there you go. Just tell me that. Like, what am I going to do? I was just like, well, for me, I don't save numbers like initially. Like that takes a bit of time for me to do that. It's just kind of one of those things that helps me kind of grade like the level of relationships. An honest conversation with adults.
That's so interesting.
What about not saving?
Yeah, it's like literally even my first interaction with you, I'll save the number, and then if things don't work out, then you just delete it.
And it feels like an actual boundary.
Like you're not existing in my phone. You're not like existing in my life.
You're not at all.
That's really interesting, and I love that for you.
It feels and now it's like, look, how many have just fallen off when they're just numbers?
20.
You see what I mean? But then now there's others who are saved.
You don't feel like now you don't want to be shocked when now this rando from like 2 months ago calls you. Don't you want to know that it's that one? So you're like mentally prepared for the conversation. Do you know what I mean?
I'm always mentally prepared for a conversation.
But you don't know who
Let's
it is.
Go. Yeah, see, I'm just like, hi, who's this?
Oh my God.
And then they're just like, oh, it's Johnny. Johnny from?
Kariobangi.
2 months ago. And then we talked and then we just like, okay.
How can I help you?
And I expect people to have the same boundaries with me, by the way. If I call you and I haven't saved you, be like, oh yeah, it's Lydia.
Yeah. Actually, I kind of find that meaning of just like, you don't remember me. You don't have, please just say your name instantaneously. Please say your name.
We assume we are more important to people in their life.
That's true.
By the way, that is not like a matter of like, oh, look at me. No. I too, let me be a number.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if I'm not tight, I'm not working on the kind of schedule and the strict program that you're on, cut me off. Who am I?
It's true. Me, when that happens with like clients or like who you've worked with before, then it's like, you don't remember in 2019, you don't remember.
Especially
Girl,
like
just
face to face.
Remind me exactly. Money has changed me now, so.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We change over here.
We've been changing. Yeah. I feel like we've had enough. We've done enough. This is definitely over an hour.
Emotional maturity, inconsistency, temptation, or is that lack of discipline?
That is the question. Yeah. But anyway, would I say that all of these ones that we've mentioned are killing relationships more than cheating? Or is cheating just one of them? Me, I would just say cheating is one of them. You know what I mean? It's not like we can say it like more than cheating. Also, there's emotional cheating, there's financial cheating, there's physical cheating.
I know Nairobi women financially cheat on a daily.
Right.
Every time just Ivy posts a box or like, tell me what it is that you're hiding from your partner.
I have $50 million. My husband is paying rent to me and he doesn't know. Those are my faves.
I will never forget that one. It's her building. They live in it and he pays her rent. You guys don't love your... Like, I don't think you guys love your people.
No, but it's because, you see, we have come from a history where women were financially the underdog. So now it's like we have overdone. We have overshot.
Overcorrection.
We have overcorrected.
There's definitely a bit of an overcorrection.
That's the problem. Yeah, definitely.
Anyway, whichever way... Whatever is happening in your relationship, guys, one, I think we definitely need to be more intentional with relationships because they're not just going to work out. And I can tell you, the streets are fun, baby. The streets are fun, but you don't need to be here if you don't want to be. If you don't want to be, if you can't handle it, if you're dying to be picked, this is not, this is not the streets for you. This is not the streets for you. So being intentional with your relationship. And if it's something that you're struggling with, intimacy, understanding each other's bodies, anything like that, definitely check out Beducated because that is going to be the place you can get expert-led advice and courses to help you really be able to bridge that gap if you're feeling that there's a bit of a disconnection.
Absolutely. Yeah. And definitely one of the killers of long-term relationships is just not being intentional enough about your intimacy, about date nights, about just like, okay, this is just the person, they're just in your house and they're just like, okay, yeah, whatever. But you're not taking the time to exactly over familiarity. That's the word actually, yeah. And you're not taking the time to be like, okay, what more can we do to spice things up? What more can we do to like, change things to just ensure your partner is feeling loved and special and that you are also, like feeding into the relationship? Definitely check out Beducated, whether not just for sex, by the way, also for like relationship issues, even just for like connection issues. They have something for everyone. Our code is TMI Podcast for 50% off your annual membership. And I believe it's locked for life, isn't it?
No.
It is not, in fact, locked for life, but at least it's locked for your first year.
Yes.
Okay, so you have a whole year and you have a 14-day money-back guarantee. So in case you get on there and then you somehow manage to go through 150 courses in 2 weeks.
Damn.
Because maybe you're unemployed. That could also be the case, yeah. But definitely it's going to be something that impacts positively your relationships. I can tell you that for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for watching and listening to this episode. Please leave us your comments down below. What else do you guys think are destroying relationships right now? And particularly in Nairobi.
And also... from also your perspective, because wow, everyone's saying
exactly these are the relationships.
Tell us from your own. What are you doing that is destroying a relationship or has destroyed a relationship before? Ebu, answer you one.
See, me, I already said about like not really seeing him as like human and like really prioritizing myself and
like, for me, I guess that was the not seeing that you can be wrong and not taking every bit of criticism as I'm hated and now you're gonna leave me like daddy or mommy.
So deep every time you say it out loud. Very thick, very loaded. Yeah. But let us know, guys. Thank you so much for watching / listening, and we'll see you in our next episode.
Bye.